Do teen girls need help building confidence and self-esteem? Is the sky blue? Is water wet? Well, okay, but the answer is definitely, and it's the main reason we're about to talk about a new book with a very specific title. It's called Famous: How to Be the Star of Your Show, a teen girl's guide to embracing her fabulous self.
The book's goal is, quote, to inspire girls to be the star of their lives instead of being a best supporting actress in someone else's life, end quote. And here to tell us about that is the author and editor and motivational speaker, and she happens to be a Brooklynite to boot,
yes.
Taiia Smart Young. Welcome to BK Live,
Thank you
madam.
for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
We're very happy that you are here as well, but I got a bone to pick with you, number one.
Is it about why didn't I make it for girls and boys?
As the mother of a son?
I know, it's embarrassing. My son
No.
was not happy with me either.
Oh,
but
so he brought it up too?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
As soon as I told him the title, he was like, really? Don't you want to give some love to us as well? And I do. So
Yeah.
maybe the sequel will be for guys.
All right.
But when I initially sat down to write it, my voice just spoke automatically to girls. And it probably has to do with my background in Girls Inc. And
Okay.
with just, this girl power message. And that's really where it came from. So yes to the guys, I will do something for them soon.
Okay, you heard it here first. Can you speak to us about some of the issues that teenage and tween girls face and how that may or may not be different from maybe when we grew up?
Sure, but actually I think confidence is really a universal issue, and I think that hasn't changed from the time when I grew up, you grew up, and even the current day. I think there's even more pressure to be confident, even more pressure to be perfect. And my message is that you are confident, you already are, you just have to really practice it a little bit more, and maybe sometimes you have to slow down and figure out what went wrong the last time I did. Maybe you auditioned for the talent show and you didn't make the cut. Were you really prepared? Did you sing the right song? Did you know all the dance moves? And sometimes when you go back and review, like how in sports you do that play-by-play and figure out where the athlete went right and where the athlete went wrong. When you do that in your own life, then you tend to, okay, next time when I go forth and I'm singing this song or I'm doing the dance moves, I know exactly what I'm doing. So that really helps.
Let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum.
Okay.
The girls who appear to have all the confidence in the world. They're all on Instagram, they're on Facebook, all this is out, there's a million selfies.
Right.
But those girls could be suffering the crisis of confidence too.
I absolutely think they are. I think that sometimes when we have so many selfies on your Instagram, I think that you want attention. You want to be liked, and you want to, have everyone say, oh, you look great. Oh, your body is banging. Oh, you look so good. Look at your hair. I think you are craving for that attention. So I think don't be misled by all the selfies. It's not always that they're super confident. It's that they're projecting confidence and not quite as confident as you think they would be.
Right.
Fair enough. Well, what is some of the processes that you go through to teach these young ladies self-evaluation process and how to truly, feel the self-confidence from within?
Sure. One of the main things I think for me, even for young men as well, is that don't let your fear cripple you. I think a lot of times we can get really comfortable in our space where we already excel, and you have to step outside that comfort zone. So that's really one of the things where you end up developing confidence, is when you step outside of your comfort zone and you try something new, like write a book. It helps you to build up that muscle. Yeah. We tend to stay in the comfort zone because we perfected something and we're really good at it. And when we step outside, we're worried about if this person will like what we said, will they like what we did, will they like how we performed? Yeah. And you really have to not worry about that. You have to go and do your best so that you are now worrying about what's going on in here. I think the name of the book, Famous itself, it's how to be the star of your show, but I've remixed that concept of fame because it's not about everybody knowing you, it's about you knowing yourself, and that's really how you become famous in my mind.
So when was the last time you did something that scared you?
Oh my goodness. I think one of probably the biggest things I did was I interviewed Wendy Williams. And
she's big and scary.
Not because she's big and scary. She actually was very sweet and approachable. But I had this idea in my mind that when I sat down to interview her, it was going to be this cozy moment. Right. We were going to be on couches with tea.
Right. Like Barbara Walters.
Right. That did not happen.
What kind of tree would you
What
be?
actually happened was we were behind the scenes I think it was right before she went on on air. And so there was hair, there was makeup, there was the editor-in-chief of Juicy Magazine, where I'm a contributing editor. There were publicists. There were so many people in the room, so my moment was not as cozy as I thought. And then they had said, oh, well, you can't ask her about this. So of course, when you tell a journalist, you can't ask about this, what are we going to do?
Number one.
Well, actually, you know what I did? I made it the last one.
But it's definitely going to get
right.
in there.
You make it the last question so you don't get kicked out of the room before you get all your good stuff. But it ended up, that question was, who's your biggest competition is what they told me not to ask. And so that, you know, of course, I'm a little nervous, but it's like I have to ask her that question. And she nailed it. She was like, I'm my biggest competition. You know, I don't worry about the Rachel Rays and the Martha Stewarts and this one and Ellen or whoever, because she has to worry about giving her best show so that she's focused on her target audience.
She doesn't care about the BK Lives. She's trying to maintain her lane.
She's a star of her own show.
She's watching BK Live. She's checking out what's going on.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Can you tell us about your experience as a motivational speaker and, you know, what's it really like when you're on the ground and able to talk to these girls in their own environment?
You find out a lot of personal information, which can be a good and a bad thing. Good in the sense that if you can impart wisdom and you can share something, then it's great. And actually, a lot of the conversations that I've had with young women from the time when I worked at Girls Inc. or when I speak at schools, a lot of the questions and answers have ended up in the book. Things about fear, things about perfection, things about who do I turn to if I need to fill out this scholarship application and my counselor is too busy or my parents don't really know how to help me. So those are some of the things that I find out. And those things those end up being great because I can help with that.
That's real world stuff. I want to ask you about how the social media of everything has flipped the script because you know Diddy fell at the BET Awards. There's a million memes, like all these people, you know, and the world is watching. Nothing ever goes away anymore. So if we see that person get dragged, how do you let these girls and young people know that you can fail, you can fall on your face, somebody might even put it on YouTube, but there is a life after you get up?
Oh, there's a chapter called These Trolls Ain't Loyal.
All right.
Okay?
Say that again.
These trolls ain't loyal because you have to deal with what it is. And you, like you said, Diddy got dragged, so you know that the average girl or the average person is going to get dragged as well. And really, I don't think that we should get into a back and forth with people on social media. I think a lot of times that ends up and being in a negative space because now you're coming for somebody who's coming for you. And so they're always going to have an opinion about what you look like, your nose being too big, your crooked teeth or whatever it is. But you have to realize that those people aren't always happy with what's going on in their lives. So now they're going to come for you on social media.
But that being said, they are children. And so a lot of times what people want are bragging rights.
Absolutely.
So can you tell us about bragging rights, please?
Sure. I actually think that we should all have a set of bragging rights because we're going to fail, because we're going to screw up. And so for me, the bragging rights are really a chance for you to remember the things that you did that were awesome. Okay, so you memorize that monologue for The Grapes of Wrath. You nailed it. That goes on your list of bragging rights immediately. You saved a toddler last summer from drowning in the pool. That goes on your bragging rights. These are things that we forget. They might seem small at the time, but that's really, like, it makes up who you are. It shows your character and it shows what you're made of. And I really encourage girls and boys to do that.
That's phenomenal because I'm thinking of all those little things. You always hear the one negative voice. If everybody's clapping and somebody's sitting there with the screw face, that's the only one you see. So you got to acknowledge your claps.
Yeah, we beat ourselves up so often when we mess up, but when do we really celebrate the things that we do well?
Can we celebrate my co-host for a second here?
Let's do that, okay?
Okay.
You know, Aaron, he's got to work on his confidence a little bit.
Aaron, do
He
you need a
gets
workshop?
down a little. Give him the 1 minute reboot, top 5 him up.
I'm so nervous when I go into
let's give
auditions.
Aaron
I
the
don't
treatment.
even think that's true about you at all. I think that you probably nail it when you go into auditions. Where do you think
People think that, but
Okay.
actually, no, I am really nervous.
Oh.
And I don't
Being on
necessarily think
BK Live every day?
You know what? This is my amazing co-host. I depend on him a lot.
Okay.
But, you know, in a lot of things and a lot of endeavors, I do have doubts about myself. So if I can't immediately think of my bragging rights, what is my coping mechanism?
I talk about the favorite five. Everybody needs a favorite five, and this really is your support system. So when you're nervous about that audition, maybe you get on the phone with one of your people or your co-host, and you talk to them about what is bothering you. I'm worried about going and doing this thing today. And that person is really there to give you the support that you need. And I talk about the favorite five can be the deadline diva. If you are known for being late, for not getting those applications in on time, you need someone who's gonna hold you accountable. So the application is due July 17th, that on July 1st, this person is gonna be on your case. Like, you count down to when the application is due. Sometimes you need a treasurer. Right? That auntie or that uncle or that co-host who can give you maybe $100 for your t-shirt business. You need to get some things off the ground. Maybe you need to start your website.
The co-host, no.
Not the co-host.
Or sometimes you just need somebody to hold it for you.
Right.
So you don't, they're not even financing. Just like, hey, I'm gonna need this back next month.
Exactly.
Do not let me spend it. I love ice cream.
Call me, I'll be your Hercules.
Exactly.
But I see what you're saying now, but it's more formalizing it so you can instantly draw to that. Because we have these things. It's like, if I am nervous, sometimes I'll just text my father and just say, have a good day.
Right.
I don't want to talk to him because he's going to ask, how's everything going? And I don't lie to him. Like, look, I'm a little nervous right now. So I don't. But, I do have that coping. I was like, if I can send him a text, if I can just hear my mom and say, oh, nothing's going on. But I have like the biggest audition of my life. So.
Absolutely formalize it. There's a place in the book for girls to write down who their favorite five are and give them a specific name. So the treasurer is not something that I just came up with out of my head. It's something I put in the book, because you do need that auntie or that uncle or that cousin or that big brother who can give you some funds when you need it. You need that person to check you when the scholarship application is due. You said you were applying to a new school. When is that due? You also need the person who I call the social butterfly, who is very mixy.
Pull you out.
Exactly, and is going to, they're having brunch with the mayor, they're getting invited to Mrs. Obama's house. That person can now introduce you to, hey, did you know that Barclays, they have a scholarship for such and such, or they're looking for interns? You need those people in your life so that you're top of mind when it's time for opportunity and time to shine. Time to be famous.
How does one find this book?
Amazon.com, ebook and print.
All right, Taiia, smart,
Taiia,
young. Taiia. I said it twice.
Yes, you did.
Right, two times.
Taiia.
How to be the star
smart,
of your...
young. Taiia, smart, young, famous. Do the rest, co-host.
How to be the star of your show, a teen girl's guide to embracing her fabulous self. I'm gonna have to make sure to get this for my niece.
Get it on Amazon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.